I have here miracle number 68. It's the prediction of death of Abu Dharr AlGhifari. So what was Abu Dharr AlGhifari famous for before he became a Muslim?
He used to rob people.
He used to rob people, mashallah, very good. He was a leader, young leader of the young people who used to raid caravans, where used to travel, the business people. This tribe used to make money out of that raids that they used to do, and they used to say, "Oh, this you cannot just make profits without giving something to us." So he used to raid those caravans. Anyways, but one great thing about him was that since beginning, he never worshipped idols. He never worshipped idols. He always was searching for truth. And when he learned that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he came and the prophethood has arrived, he immediately accepted Islam. He immediately accepted Islam. And he was like the fifth Muslim who accepted Islam through Ali radiallahu anhu. That whole story we mentioned sometime before. But it's amazing that I really am fascinated whenever I read his story. The way he accepted Islam, and when he did meet Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he said Shahada, he was so excited, he was feeling so nice that he said, "I'm going to go near Kaaba and I'm going to say Shahada loudly, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah." And during that time, you know how dangerous it was. But he knew that he was going to be beaten up, and he still went and he still did that. And it's just not that. He was beaten up really. Next day he did the same thing again. The third day he did the same thing again. So that was how happy he was. He wanted to share that with the whole world, and how he showed his emotions that way. So that was Abu Dharr AlGhifari. He went back to his tribe after accepting Islam, and even after Muslims made hijrah and everything, he was still staying there. And I think about in the time of Battle of Trench, Khandaq came, he moved to Medina. And during the Battle of Tabuk, we mentioned this battle also earlier, that how all Muslims were preparing to go. Abu Dharr AlGhifari was in Medina and he wanted to go with them, but what happened was his mount, his camel or horse, whatever, it failed, so he could not go. It fell in the middle. So what he did, he took all his belongings and he kept on his back and he walked on foot, just trying to catch up with Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and everybody. So when the Muslims saw that somebody is coming, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that, "Be Abu Dharr, be Abu Dharr." They couldn't figure out, and that turned out to be Abu Dharr AlGhifari radiallahu anhu. So Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam at that time, when he came to him, he said that, "May Allah show mercy to Abu Dharr. He walks alone because he doesn't have a right, and he will die alone and he will be raised alone." And he also, what happened that he heard that this comment from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and after Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam passed away, he moved to one place called Rabada. It was like a desert region, right? And during the caliphate of Uthman, you can say, at that time. So what happened, that area that he was living, it was kind of all by himself. It was just he, his wife and his slave, that's it. So what happened, he became sick, and the time of death came, and his wife began to cry. She was crying, and Abu Dharr asked her, "Why are you crying?" She said that, "I'm crying because now you are on your deathbed all by yourself in the desert. You don't have other Muslims here, and I don't even have a shroud to cover you if you die." So she was crying like that, and Abu Dharr said, "Do not weep, do not cry, you should rejoice, because Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, when I was with certain companions, he said, a man among you shall die in a desert, whose funeral shall be witnessed by a group of believers." So first of all, it's a good news that Rasulullah is mentioning me, and he knew that it was him because all the companions in front of whom he was mentioning, all of them died in the city. So he was the only one left. So he knew that it was him. And he told her not to worry, because Rasulullah mentioned that a group of believers will pray on my janazah. So you're worrying that nobody's here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send somehow somebody, and I will have somebody pray in as janazah. So she went out to look for people to help, for coffin, for shroud, and for preparation of janazah. So when she went out, she saw some people coming, and she asked them that, can you help us? So, and those people were really amazed that, oh, this is a sahabi. At that time, so many years passed by, sahaba are like very, very much in demand. The people would love to see sahaba. So they saw Abu Dharr and they were like, we will do everything for him. So they had a shroud and they covered him and they prayed janazah on him and they went away. So that was in about 23rd Hijri year. So that's how the prediction of Rasulullah ﷺ came true. That so many predictions that he will die alone and he will there will be group of Muslims praying on him as janazah. And the one thing that Rasulullah ﷺ told about him that really honors him is that he specifically told about Abu Dharr AlGhifari that the earth doesn't carry nor the heavens cover a man more true and faithful than Abu Dharr AlGhifari. That was the highest comment that he gave for anybody. This very high honor, basically.